Oh, hello. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I like to see all the new faces here this morning. Zara, Mokhtar, Nawal, we're just beginning. We're just getting started. Oh, well, welcome back, Mayuki. Navjot, Mr. Singh, good to see you again. Rosa, of course, it's good to see you again. Good to see everybody again. Let me turn my mic up there. And if it's too quiet, let me know. I know we've had some volume issues, so just let me know if it's too quiet. Good morning, Chippy, Mokhtar. And I say this at the beginning of every class. If I mispronounce your name, you can always correct me. Give me the phonetic spelling. Help me out. Daniel, that's an easy one. Steve, good morning again. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, my online friends. It's good to see you this bright Monday morning. Actually, here it's not so bright. And for you, it might be afternoon or evening. I think for everybody, it's Monday, though. It's Monday. Beginning of the week. Another week. Selma, good morning. We'll give everybody a minute to get into class. But I want to start early because there's so much to get to. So much to get to today. So much to get to today because we're doing a reading. And a reading requires a lot of work. As you probably know already, reading requires a lot of work because we're trying to get to understanding. Our goal, whenever we read, our goal is understanding. So I'm going to share with you the link to the class notes already. If you look in the chat window there, you'll see that link. I'll probably end up sharing it a couple more times as we go along for people who join. So let's get started. Why not? Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go to the lesson right away, and it'll be in the background. There it is. But where am I? There I am. Hello, everybody. I see some of you are jumping into the class notes now. Let's see if I can make it bigger. There we go. There we go. So if you open that link, you should be able to see the class notes for today. We are doing a reading, and we're going to go through it slowly, and we'll see how far we get. It's important to take your time whenever you do a reading. Readings are tricky. I think for many students, maybe the most difficult part of a language because there's so much to miss. There's so much to miss when you do a reading. There's so much to get, and there's so much to miss, if that makes sense. Readings contain so much information, and we want to make sure that we understand all the information. So we're going to take it slow. We're going to do a step-by-step process. And hopefully, by the end, we will understand this reading. Okay, as always, at the beginning, you know I always say this. This is my little spiel or my little speech at the beginning every time. If you have more questions about the classes, especially the closed classes, you can always contact Zach. Zach will be happy to answer your questions. You can also look at the Smrt Live page to see some of the classes that are available, see if you're interested in any. And we're in the process of updating this page, so be patient with that. There will be updates to the Smrt Live page. If you want to know more about the school where I work, where our studio is, where we do these classes from, you can always follow this link here. My name is Neal Hallgarth. I know that's a lot of L's in there. Neal Hallgarth. You can always find me on Facebook. Friend me on Facebook. There's my Facebook page. There's my friend Charlie, dressed as a zombie clown. But yes, you can always friend me on Facebook. From time to time when I'm at work here, I try to jump on Facebook and message. So we can message on Facebook. I don't have a lot of time, but over the course of many days, perhaps we can slowly build a conversation. And I only have a few minutes a day to be able to tend to this Facebook page. But of course, you're always welcome to friend me on Facebook. Okay, let's get started. Our reading is called When to Tie the Knot. The name of this reading is When to Tie the Knot. Yes, Rose, as you can see, a lot of work today. We're gonna be busy today. So this expression, this idiom, tie the knot, simply means get married. Tie the knot means get married, and it's very common. It's a very common idiom to say. So when somebody says tie the knot, they simply mean get married. Some other words we have to know, some other vocabulary words we have to know, is that the word favor actually means prefer. Prefer. Favor means prefer in this case, not like do me a favor, like will you do something for me? This one means prefer, like I favor football over baseball. Delayed, put off until the future. And we have a phrasal verb here, put off. It means you push something in the future. You don't do it now, you decide to do it in a future time. Matures. Matures means you grow both physically and mentally with age. That one's easy. Everything matures. Plants mature, animals mature, people mature, your bank account matures. It just means grows both physically and mentally with age. And of course, your bank account doesn't grow mentally, but physically, hopefully you're making more money the more money you invest in your bank account. Well, Belle, we just started, so you just woke up, we just started. There's a question already. Daniel asks, idiom versus slang. An idiom is a word or a group of words that you can't know the meaning of it by just looking at it. So if you looked at tie the knot, you would think it would have something to do with like tying your shoelaces, making your shoes tighter, using the shoestrings. It doesn't. This means get married, but let's say you did not know that. There is no way to guess the meaning of an idiom. Slang is usually a word. Slangs are usually one word. Sometimes they can be a combination of words that gain popularity at one time in a language's history. For example, cool is a slang. It's an easy and common slang word in English. And maybe it's a little easier to guess the meaning because you can hear it used in context. If somebody says, hey, look at my new iPhone 7, and the other person says, cool, you can guess that means good or great. I like it. So slang is a little easier to guess. Idiom's a little harder to guess, I guess is one way to put it. And slang is constantly changing, where idioms don't really change. This meaning, tie the knot, has been around for a very, very long time, and the meaning has not changed over time. Slang can change, like a slang word can change over time. So, mature is an adjective. Here, it's being used as a verb. So it can be an adjective or a verb. That's kind of a strange combination of parts of speech for a word. Adjective and verb, mature. And this S kind of reflects the he, she, it matures. So yeah, good. I'm glad you're guessing the parts of speech of these words already. Yes, these words are okay to use in an essay. These are good, I wouldn't say academic words, but good English words. This delayed, or simply delay, is a very common word. It's a very common word and a useful word. Delay is good. Mature is a good word. Not quite, we wouldn't call them academic words because you wouldn't need, well, maybe you would need these words for an IELTS or a TOEFL, but not specifically. So maybe they're not on an academic word list. However, very good words to know. I'd say these words are more common. So if they're new to you, please learn these words. These are some common English words. Let's look at some more. Satisfied, a feeling of fulfillment, meaning, and there's many ways to feel this, to feel fulfillment or satisfied. If you're hungry and you eat a lot of food, you are satisfied. If you are thirsty and you drink a lot of water, you are satisfied. If you want to know the ending of a movie and you watch the whole thing and you enjoy the ending, you feel it's a good ending to the movie, you are satisfied. If you pay money to see a concert, to see a band in concert, and they play great and you have a good time, you are satisfied. It's a feeling where you feel full. Your spirit feels full, your heart feels full, your brain feels full, your stomach feels full. You are satisfied. Satisfied. Yeah, pleased. Pleased is a great synonym. That's a good synonym, Selma. Good, Belle. It's good to say you are satisfied with your life. Mike, yes. For delayed, we can say postponed. So if you think of good synonyms, I will be happy to add those. Next word, advocates. Advocates are simply people that, I shouldn't say people that's very, very informal. People who recommend something. An advocate is people who recommend something, who speak favorably about something. Rely, putting trust in something or someone. I can rely on my parents. They often help me. Stability, stability, having a solid foundation. And a foundation is like in a building, it's a basement. Foundation, we can say this can be economically. If you have a lot of money, you have stability. It can be emotionally. If you have friends and family you can rely on, you have stability. So there's many ways to have stability. Rely, not really a count on. However, count on is a phrasal verb. We can say count on. Support. I would say advocates. Yeah, people who support something. You could say supporters. With stability, you could say has support. Outlook, personal attitude toward life. For this reading, we'll have to know outlook means a personal attitude toward life. Personal attitude toward life. Hi, welcome. People just jumping in. If you're just jumping in, we're covering the vocabulary for the reading. As you can see the vocabulary here, we're talking about the last word. Yeah, perspective is a good synonym. And then pursuit, for this reading, this will mean the path to achieve a goal. The path you take to achieve a goal. Your pursuit of happiness. How are you going to achieve happiness? What path are you going to take? What life path are you going to take? Yes, rely is trust. Remember, rely is trust. If you trust somebody, you can rely on them. If you rely on them, it must mean you trust them. Trust to help you. You believe that they will help you. You believe this person will help you. The process. Yes, the pursuit is the process. How about perseverance? Where would that? Yeah, I guess we could say the perseverance to achieve a goal. If you're going to pursue it, you better have perseverance. Okay, so here is our vocabulary. We will return to it We will return to it. We're going to follow 4 steps towards this reading. The first one is we're going to predict, and that's the stage we're in now. We're in stage 1. We're going to predict, and predict just means we're going to guess the meaning based on the title and key vocabulary of the reading. Then we'll read one paragraph at a time slowly. We'll summarize the paragraphs one at a time, and we'll check for understanding. But we're still in the predict stage. So actually, before we brainstorm, I'm going to ask you another question. I'm going to write another question in the notes. A predict question. What do you think this writing is about based on the title, When to Tie the Knot? When to Tie the Knot. Based on this title, what do you think this reading will be about? And I guess I'm just asking you to answer in the chat room here. Go ahead, I'm asking you that question. What do you think this reading is about based on the title, When to Tie the Knot? Good, Selma. You saw that movie starring Will Smith, The Pursuit of Happiness. Remember, he pursued happiness even though his life was very difficult. He never gave up. Good, yeah, good. All good answers. Bell says, when do we get married? Zara, what is the best time to get married? Tronwiz, advice for couples maybe? Maybe, yeah. When to get married? Good, Mr. Singh. Chippy, when should we get married? Good. I think you're all thinking the same thing. Venice Gwynn, the best time to get married? And Selma, the proper time to get married. Yeah, we're talking about time, right? When is the best time to get married? That's what this reading is going to be about. And I think it probably is good advice for couples. Okay, actually I want to ask you another question, and you can answer in the chat. What do you think, and I'm asking you personally, your opinion, what do you think is the best time to get married? What do you think? I'm asking all of you now, what do you think is the best time to get married? Meaning, what time in your life or what age in your life? What time do you think is the best? Jesus, you say 30s? 30s is the best time to get married. Any other guesses? For men? Oh, is it different for men than for women? For men, 32. It might be different for men and women. What do you think? Another one in the 30s. Wow, that's 2 votes for 30s. Then we have 25 years old. For women, 30. After college, whenever that is, because you could go for a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a doctorate. So whenever you're done with that after college. 27. It's good. Good use of the word stability. Stability in career. Maybe that's in your 30s. Good use of mature. When they are mature enough for responsibilities. When you can handle yourself. Maybe it's more of a personal thing. Good. Yes, when you find someone, when you find that special someone. When you find someone you can live with the rest of your life. Good. If you are settled in life, yes. Again, if you're personally settled, if you're already settled down, when you are mature enough. So another vote for maturity. 28. Again, men in their 30s. So we're guessing, seems like a lot of late 20s, early 30s, when you're stable, when you're mature, when you can personally handle all of your situation, when you've handled responsibilities, when you find that special someone. And actually the reading is going to be very, very direct when they say what they think is the best stage. I like your answers better. I like your answers better, Jesus. Yes, sometimes. Okay, I'm going to give you another idiom. I'm going to go back up to the vocabulary. Jesus, what you're talking about is sow your wild oats. Very strange idiom. Sow your wild oats means live your young life before you are ready for responsibilities. Oftentimes you want to enjoy things. You want to maybe enjoy having many relationships. You want to enjoy going out and hanging out with your friends. You want to enjoy going out and seeing the world. You want to live your life in a very personal way where you live a very full and rich life that includes many people, many activities, many experiences before you're ready to get married. Because once you get married, life does change. It changes quite a bit. Your responsibilities change. You might have children, and then you have a lot of responsibilities. You cannot go out every night. And so we say, sow your wild oats. Yes, we're all spinsters and bachelors here, aren't we? Myself included. I'm old, but I think I'm still sowing my wild oats. I still like to go out and have a good time. I don't think I'm ready to settle down yet. But that's okay. That's okay. It's different for everybody. But again, the reading is going to tell us something different. Okay. We're still on the predict stage. We're still on the predict stage of this reading. Let's brainstorm. So when you think of the word marriage, what do you think of? Can you give me some other words or phrases you think of when you think of the word marriage? Can you think, what are some other things that come to mind? Or just, what are the things that come to mind when you think marriage? What do you think about when you think about marriage? Love, of course. Hopefully there's love involved, right? Rings. Daniel, are you asking me how old am I? Cake, yes, the wedding cake. I am 42 years old. I'm almost 43. I'm old. I'm middle-aged. They say, in America, they say middle-aged, although for me, I just say old. Do you mean split up? The end? The end of marriage? Children, house, responsibility, bills, bride and groom. These are good. Good, guys. Yeah, the end of marriage, a breakup or a split up, divorce. So you're thinking the end already? You're thinking about the end? All right. Bride and groom, rent, wedding dress, happiness. Wow, a lot of things come to mind. Holy cow. You guys are brainstorming like crazy this morning. Your brains are working. Did we have party already? Yeah, we have party, wedding party. A better job. Just got married. Belle, you're not talking about yourself, are you? You just got married. Alrighty, wedding. Oh, thank you, Tranwas. Yeah, people always guess I'm a little younger than I am. I guess that's good. I guess that's good. No, I'm old. I've experienced a lot. Housework, a bigger house, anti-loneliness. Yeah, the end of loneliness, right? You're no longer alone. There's always going to be somebody with you. Crazy to think about that. I misspelled loneliness. Let me engage. Yeah, before you get married, you have to be engaged. Raise children. Yeah. You know, marriage can be fun. Some people think it's the end of fun. A marriage can be even more fun. It can be the funnest time in your life. Widow, if somebody dies. Wow. Wow. Arguments. Yes, there's going to be those too. It might be a lot of fun, but I guarantee there will be arguments when you get married. But that's natural. That's natural between any two people. Vows. Yes, you must make your wedding vows, your wedding promises. What do you promise to do? You promise to be with that person if they're sick, if they're healthy, if they're poor, if they're rich. You have to stay with that person. Flowers. Of course, what's a wedding without flowers? Okay, I think those are good. I think we thought of a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. A lot to think about when you think about marriage. Okay, remember those vocabulary words at the beginning? Can you take those vocabulary words? Oh, kiss. Kisses from movies. Maybe a few more words coming in. Kiss. Priest. Okay. Decisions. I am not. A lot of personal questions this morning. Thank you for all the personal questions. No, I'm not married. I'm not married. I was engaged once, but I've never been married. No children. It's just me. But don't worry about me. I get out. I get out of the house a lot. I enjoy my life. I have many, 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 many friends. So I live a good life. I live a good life, actually. So maybe I'm not in such a rush to get married because life is good. Life is good. Hopefully it's good for you too. I don't know. Are any of you married out there? Are any of you married? Since we're talking about this subject. Okay, let's look, while I'm waiting for your answers, on the class notes, and I'll share that link with you one more time. So if you follow this link, you'll be able to see this exercise. We're still predicting before we read. How about number 2? How about these vocabulary words? Can we use these vocabulary words to fill in the blanks? To fill in the blanks? I'm going to give you some time. I'm going to jump out for a little bit and let you think about the answers to these questions. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to give you some time to answer these questions, and then we'll talk about the answers. Okay, good luck. Okay, some of these have been answered already. You've done a good job. So I see almost unanimously the answer for A is delayed. Around the world, young people have delayed marriage and wait longer to tie the knot. So this wait longer probably is a good clue that it's delayed. Okay, good. One down. There are many reasons for this trend, such as and I saw a lot of you put pursuit. I think it should be pursuits because we have this word goals, which is probably a good indication that this word should be pursuit. We pursue our goals. Here are careers and personal goals. C, many of you put advocates, which is correct. Advocates of late marriage believe that couples should wait until their late 20s and early 30s. Advocates of late marriage, people who recommend late marriage, and advocates do believe in a certain way. Okay, I saw some different answers for D, such as consider, and what else did I say? Favor. You know, it could really be either. I would say in this case, probably the better word though is consider. Consider. Think about. Think about divorce. They probably don't. Greater personal experience affects a couple's, and I saw stability and outlook. Again, both are good answers. Both are good answers. I would say in this case, probably outlook, their attitude towards life. Because this one makes sense for stability. When we talk about finances, when we talk about money and economy and economics, stability. Financial stability and a completed education greatly add to the success of the marriage. Okay, so we have A through F already. For those of you on a phone, maybe you didn't see G, H, I, and J. So we'll go through these a little more slowly. A significant number of people, and here's where we're going to use favor. Favor the opposite view. They have a stronger preference for the opposite view. They tend to think more of the opposite view. So we're going to use favor here in this case. What else do we have? H, an early marriage means that the couple, what do you think here? That the couple what together? Rely together? Could it be rely together? How about matures together? Matures together. They grow together physically and mentally. They mature together. Here, they rely on one another. And these are good words to put together. Rely on one another. They can trust and help one another. They can help each other when faced with difficulties. And finally, J, those who waited until their 30s to marry were significantly less satisfied. And when we talked about when was the best time to get married, a lot of you said your 30s. But according to this reading, and this will be in the reading, those who waited until their 30s to marry were significantly less satisfied with their relationships. Crazy, right? Why is that? Well, probably because they don't mature together. Okay. We're still on the predict stage. We're getting ready. We're doing a lot of preparation for this reading. So this one, can you guess if these answers are true or false? Let's see if I can get them. I'm going to shrink this a little bit and try to get them all on the same page if possible. And maybe clump them together here. There we go. Now we have them all on the same page. Hopefully you can see those. Let's finish with the true and false statements. Can you guess if these are true or false? And there's 5 of them, A, B, C, D, and E. So we're just guessing here. Look at A. People are waiting longer to get married. Do you think that's true or false? Oh, we have some disagreement. Okay. Yeah, some people say true and some people say false. And this exercise also says if false, correct the sentences. All that means is to correct the sentences, we would say the opposite. People are not waiting longer to get married. People are not waiting longer to get married. B, the quality of marriage is better when people get married in their early 20s. I'm looking at some of the guesses here. Oh, we have a false guess, a couple false guesses. Quality of marriage is better. If it's false, we would change it to simply the quality of marriage. What's the opposite of better? What's the opposite? What's the opposite word of better? False. That's right, is worse when people get married in their early 20s. Looks like C, we got some true. C, true. It looks like we got consensus that C is true. Financial stability and a completed education add to the success of a marriage. Of course they would, right? That one is obviously true, I think. How about D? According to the article, couples who married in their early 20s were the happiest. We're the happiest. We have a guess of true and a guess of false. So we have some disagreement. And of course, the opposite would be we're not. I'll just say we're not the happiest. And then E, it looks like we have some agreement that E is false. According to the article, there is an ideal age to get married. Well, there's only one way to find out, right? And that's to read. I think we're ready to read. And this was just guessing, so we don't know yet until we read. Maybe we can go back and check our answers. I think the only one that's easy to predict is C. Financial stability and a completed education add to the success of a marriage. Hopefully you all agree that that is true. It's not the only thing you need for marriage, but it can add to the success. Okay, we're going to read this one paragraph at a time. Finally, we got to the reading. All of that stuff we did before was predicting. Now we're going to do the reading. One paragraph at a time. I'll make it a little bigger in the background there. Hopefully everybody can see that. My head's in the way. Okay. I will read it out loud. What I'm going to ask you to do at the end, can you give me a word or a short phrase that summarizes just this first paragraph? That can summarize just this first paragraph. Belle, can you see that in the background now? This article here, and I will read the first paragraph. Young people are delaying marriage and waiting longer to tie the knot. There are many reasons for this trend, such as the pursuit of careers and personal goals and a fear of divorce. There is also the realization that marriage isn't the first step of adulthood anymore. It is the last step. Some see this shift as positive. Of course, others are upset by the change. So what do you think? What is a word or short phrase that could summarize just this first paragraph? And I'll wait for your answers. Not the whole article, not what we talked about before, but just this first paragraph. We're just concentrating on paragraph 1. What is a word or a short phrase that could summarize this paragraph? Still waiting for your answers. You might be looking at it again. You might be reading it again. That's okay. And there's about a 10-second delay. I am a little bit ahead of you. Okay. Yeah, good. Here come the answers. I'm just going to go ahead and take these. Good. These are good answers. All good answers. So they are talking about the delay of marriage, a new trend, and that can be seen as an obstacle or a barrier. Good. A lot of good answers. You guys are sharp this morning. You're sharp this morning. Okay. A lot of good summary for this. A lot of good summary. Young people are delaying marriage for many reasons. A new trend emerged about delaying marriage. Young people's views about marriage, obstacles of marriage, barriers of marriage. Young people prefer delaying marriage for many reasons, which bring different points of views to the issue. Marriage still comes for young people, but at a later time when they feel all factors are right. Some people favor late marriage while some are not. Advices for marriage, and I did that twice. And advice is not countable, so we'll just say advice for marriage. Okay, the last one was different views of young people in marriage. Good. I think we understood this first paragraph well. Okay, on to the second one. Let's get ready for the second one. And I'll ask for the same thing. I'll ask for a summary at the end. Advocates of late marriage believe that couples should wait until their late 20s and early 30s because the average quality of marital life is improved. Couples are more likely to do things together and are less likely to worry that their marriage is in jeopardy. They also aren't as likely to consider divorce. In part, greater personal experience affects their outlook. A better understanding of oneself allows each person to choose the right life partner. Financial stability, a completed education, and the beginnings of a career also greatly add to the success of the marriage. However, many people who wait too long may simply never marry. And we are talking about age here. Maybe they're talking about the ideal age for marriage, late 20s and early 30s. But remember, these are advocates, so we're hearing people that are recommending their belief, their one side of this issue. So these are what the advocates of later marriage believe. Yeah, and that's a good question. What is this word here? This is a strange word, jeopardy. Jeopardy means danger, danger. I'm going to actually put that in the vocabulary. That's a good word to know as well. Go all the way back up, boop, 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 and I'll get back down to the reading in a sec. But I'm going to add jeopardy, jeopardy. It means danger. Okay, let me scroll back down to the article. Ideal age for marriage, the best time. And here we would say the best time for marriage. What is the best time to get married? So marriage is the noun form. Married is either the adjective or the verb form. Yeah, so I see you really concentrated, you really focused on the age part. And it's kind of goes back to what we guessed the title meant. When we guessed the title, when is the best time to tie the knot? And of course, this part did give us some tips about marriage. Oh, that's a hard word to spell. So here we have ideal age for marrying, the best time for marriage. What is the best time to get married? The viewpoint of advocates about the ideal age to get married. Advocates' opinion about when to tie the knot. Benefits of late marriage. The best time to get married. After get, you want to put that form, married, get married. Different tips about marriage. And some more coming in. I'll also add these. Different views. And then here's something to consider though. Maybe the best summary of this one is benefits of late marriage. And I know you didn't know this yet, but coming up next is a paragraph about the opposite point of view. So we read about the benefits of late marriage. Now we're going to see what advocates on the other side say. So let's look at this. But a significant number of people favor the opposite view. They believe that marriage at a younger age is better. An early marriage means that the couple matures together because they discover the joys and pains of adulthood as a team. They rely on one another when faced with difficulties. New research also suggests that couples who get married by their early 20s were slightly happier than couples who waited until their late 20s. In addition, those who waited until their 30s or older to marry were significantly less satisfied with their relationships. So, Miyuki, yours, I think we only live once, couples must do the right thing as early as possible, is a good summary for this one. Now we're advocating for early marriage. And yes, Rosa, it is a contrast. Now we're looking at the opposite point of view. So before we had benefits of late marriage, now we have benefits of early marriage. The advantages of getting married at a younger age. So already some good summaries coming in. Opposite view against late marriage, the advantages of getting married in the early 20s. So we have two opposing viewpoints in this article. One that advocates for late marriage because of things like financial stability, a career, an education, pursuing personal goals before getting married. And this one says people mature together. They learn to rely on each other. They seem happier. Yeah, and here, Mr. Singh, that is correct. We've seen the differences, how late marriages are different than early marriages. So all good summaries. And I know for some of you, you have learned a different way to read. You've probably learned to read, just you read the whole thing and then kind of consider it later, think about it later. When I was in university and college, even though I was just reading in English, and that is my first language, I always wrote notes, even in my books, the books that I bought. I never returned them to get money back. I wrote, and next to each paragraph, I would write little summaries next to each paragraph so I wouldn't forget, so I could go back and look, and that would help me for tests. It would help me write papers. It would help me understand what I was reading. I would read slowly. I would think about each paragraph, and I would write notes in the side of the book, in the margins of the book. I would underline words I didn't know, and I would highlight. So my books, and I still have them today, are very, very messy. I always summarized as I read. It's not the fastest way to read. And of course, if I read for pleasure, if I read a book just to enjoy the story, I won't do that. But when I'm studying, when I'm researching, when I'm learning, I will. I'll write a lot. I'll read slow, write a lot to make sure I understand. Okay, one more summary for this one, early marriage and its benefits. Let's get to the last paragraph. Final paragraph. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be an ideal age for marriage. No one can guarantee a happy and fulfilling life for those who get married at 28 instead of 23. Worldwide trends point to later marriages, but it remains undecided if this is a good thing. Okay, short paragraph. Can you give me a short summary? Yes, Chippy, that's right. Read slow and take notes, especially when you're studying. And I know a lot of you, of course, are studying English. You want to improve in English. When you read in English, whether it's a book, an article, anything, a paragraph and a sentence, and you're trying to understand it, you're trying to read for understanding, always take notes. Always take notes. Write something that makes sense to you, something that you can look at, and you've seen the short word or phrase that you've written, and it makes sense to you. It helps you remember. It's very, very important, especially for students. Read slow, take notes, be patient, learn vocabulary, think about what you're reading, think about what the whole reading's about. Highlight. Can anyone be sufficient at English? Only with time and patience. With time and patience, anybody can be sufficient. Rosa, you, of course, I correctly identified this as the concluding paragraph, which often acts as summary itself. Zara, I like this one. There's no guarantee for success in marriage. There's no guarantee. Yeah, there's no agreement. People are just going to have to agree to disagree when it comes to the best time to get married. So let me put your summaries in here. No guarantee for success. There is no agreement on the ideal age to get married. Late marriage and early marriage each has its own pros and cons. The best age to tie the knot differs from one person to another. No one can guarantee a happy life in any age. Rosa, you're right. Maybe it's just fate. Maybe you just have to see what fate has in store for you. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be an ideal age for marriage. For everybody, it's different. For everybody, it's going to be different. We all have to live different lives. We're all different people. Okay, so we did the reading. We summarized. The last thing we do is read for understanding. We're getting close to the end. So, one more time, I'm going to share the class notes links. If you're on your phone, can you see if you can copy this link? Because maybe later you'll want to come back. And I'm going to leave these for you to do. I'm going to leave the reading for understanding questions. This, I guess, is a little bit of an assignment for you. We probably won't talk about it next time. So if you can answer these questions based on the reading, it means you understood. If you have trouble answering them, please look back. But we're on the final step now. Understanding. Did we understand what we read? Does marriage guarantee happiness? No. Happiness is a very personal thing. Hopefully you're happy and you can make the other person happy in your marriage, and vice versa. Even when you get married, you are still responsible for your own happiness. If you can do that, you can help the other person be happy, and they're responsible for their own happiness, and hopefully they can help to make you happy. But you can't marry somebody and expect that person to make you happy. I think that's where a lot of marriages fail. Other people are not responsible for your happiness. Only you are. Only you can do that. And then you can aid, you can help, and somebody can rely on you to share some of that happiness and to make them happy as well. But if you think marriage itself is going to lead to happiness, I think that's not right. That's not right. Remember, you know best. You know yourself best. Time really did fly by today. Yes, reading always makes the time fly by. I agree, Rosa. I think it flew by as well. I'm going to go back to the big screen so I can say goodbye to you. So try those understanding questions at the end. Those will be for you, and I think they'll be good practice for you. So hopefully you got a little reading practice in today. You learned some new vocabulary today. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about reading? Are you okay with it? Are you not okay with it? Let me know. Let me know at the end in the comments how you feel about reading and the reading we did today. Before I was covering writing, and now I've moved to reading. Both are important, reading and writing. But as always, I'd like to know what you would like to work more on. That's not a very good phrase. I want to know what aspects of English you feel you need to improve, and maybe we'll cover that next time. So thank you for joining. I'm glad to see a lot of new faces, a lot of new names, and I'm glad to see a lot of old faces, old names here. It was a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun to me. I enjoy these online classes, and I look forward to the next one in 2 days, in 2 days' times. Same place, same time. I'll be here. Hopefully you can make it as well. Look at that live page, and I shared the link to that in the class notes to see when other live classes are, and please join. I know I have one this morning. I have one Wednesday morning, and then Tuesday and Thursday morning is Teacher Nicole. So that's the morning lineup, and then we have some afternoon classes as well. So thank you all. Have a great rest of your Monday. Have a great next couple of days, and I'll see you soon. Okay, keep working at it. Keep studying English. Keep doing your best. You will improve.